August 3rd, 2017. This was the day life gave me an obstacle that completely changed my outlook. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. When I tell someone this, many ask me if I ate too much sugar. Some just tell me that their grandma's friend's cat has diabetes and expect me to relate. Type 1 diabetes, also known as T1D, is an autoimmune chronic disease that is caused by the destruction of cells in your pancreas, called the beta cells, resulting in too little or no internal source of insulin. Well, I have to thank my great immune system for that. Insulin is a hormone created by your pancreas that turns carbohydrate sugar into energy. In simpler words, it prevents your sugars from reaching a point that is either too low or too high. The cause of T1D is still unknown, as is the cure, making diabetes not only challenging, but also life-changing and irreparable. The condition requires needle shots with almost every meal and finger pricks to help observe your sugar levels. If one of those is not done or done improperly, the consequences can go as far as death. Luckily, today we have many different innovations such as insulin pumps and sugar monitoring sensors, like the Dexcom, which I'm wearing right now, that help diabetics with their everyday life. However, the 5,000 needle shots it took me to survive with this disease were worth the lesson it taught me. Sebastian Sassville, an endurance athlete and a fellow diabetic, pointed out that an obstacle can be turned into a vehicle of growth and self-exploration. This is easily applied to diabetes, which is one of the larger obstacles. But the larger the obstacle, the more power the vehicle can achieve, making room for a greater amount of self-growth and improvement. For example, since it is almost impossible to perfectly manage T1D sugar levels, it taught me to learn from my mistakes and experiences, because this is the only way to get better, by failing and taking small steps at a time. At the beginning of my diagnosis, I tried to overcome it, fight it, become stronger than diabetes. But all of this was to no use, because some obstacles are just too strong. Soon I realized I simply needed to befriend it, because bad occurrences aren't always your fault, but your reaction is always your responsibility. In my case, this meant accepting and acknowledging the obstacle. Only then I could look past its negative aspects and focus more on the positive. This is how I found a whole community of diabetics with whom we share our T1D stories, as well as simple things like daily life experiences and jokes. This makes us feel like we aren't alone, and we have friends that share similar obstacles. When the doctor told me my diagnosis, I kept asking myself questions like, why me? What did I do to deserve this? We all have these types of questions in different parts of our lives, but this reaction won't get you far. I decided to change my thinking into, what can this teach me, and how will I manage my obstacle? This is key to making your obstacle a vehicle. Your vehicle doesn't have to be perfect. We learn from mistakes and failures, but you are the driver, meaning that it is your choice where you drive and how you will get there. One of the main reasons I did start to grow so early on after my diabetic diagnosis was because of my surroundings. I'm extremely lucky to have such supportive family and friends that help me every day by help me manage my diabetes. My parents help me monitor my sugar lows and highs. My friends keep learning about this condition. I go to a very accepting and thoughtful school, where students and teachers support me in my diabetic journey. Overall, I feel no different than anybody else my age. Therefore, it is very important to surround yourself with loving and caring people that help you take action and never give up because of the encountered obstacles. Many of you here probably don't have type 1 diabetes. But the lesson it taught me is universal and works for every one of you. You too can turn your obstacles into vehicles that help you grow by changing your thinking, having the right mindset, and surrounding yourself with a positive and supportive community. But at the end of the day, I cannot tell you how to act or what to take away from my speech. Therefore, I would just like to leave you with a simple choice. You can either let your obstacles defeat you, or take control of them as a driver in the front seat. Thank you.